Alright, here we go. Rom, the Vacuous Spider. If my voice sounds a little funny, that's because I just had oral surgery. And yeah, it's a little Sylvesterist every now and again. Ish. Stuff like that. Anyway, here we go. Moonside Lake. And my strategy for dealing with him is to deal with these little guys here. I know some people don't, but to me it seems like an easier fight. Yes, it's going to be longer, because just like Rom, these guys have a protected head, so you got to get around the side of them. If you want to do any kind of real damage, you're going to have to attack the body, not the head, which is the same with Rom. And these little guys will kind of protect Rom. They kind of move with him to protect him. So, you know, they're obviously slow. So if you want, you can maneuver them around and then run around the side of them and do the damage you want. I'll fast forward through most of the little stuff here and just get to the stuff with Rom. Just like the little guys, you got to get around the side here. You don't have to lock on. I do just because, you know, it's the big hit there. See that hit on the head really didn't do all that much damage at all. So I go back here to taking on the little guys, but let me show you what it looks like if you decide not to deal with these little spiders. That's what you're looking at. Massive, massive amounts of spiders everywhere. And all it takes, I mean, see the hits that I'm taking from these little guys here? It doesn't take much to kill you. You'll see what this looks like when I turn around here. Look at that. Who in the hell wants to deal with that? I mean, a lot of people say don't bother. Yeah. So here we are back in the fight. I actually won. And while it took me probably, I don't know, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever, to me it's worth it. Eventually, though, you know, this is the first round with him. Once you start doing X amount of damage, actually I think it's right about here, yeah, he's going to warp out of there. Now, I got 2 spiders left behind because I learned the hard way, don't kill them all. If you do, they actually respawn. But if you leave a couple of them behind, you won't get that whole new batch of 10. But every time he respawns, he brings a whole new batch of spiders with him. Which is how, you know, in that video you saw, which is how there ends up being this massive amount of little spiders all over the joint. But again, deal with these little guys here. You don't have to really worry about that stuff he's shooting down at you. It tracks really slow, so, you know, just keep a heads up when you're moving around, and just kind of always move. Don't stand in one spot. So again, now you see how that was a little too far to the front and didn't really do all that much damage? So you really got to attack that back 50% of his body. You know, anywhere 50 front, it does less and less damage the further you get to the front. But he does have another attack. Now that we're in this second stage of the fight. And you'll see it here in a minute. Actually, that was it. That's the animation for it, but you'll see what it looks like when it actually does damage. See, my HP is all the way up right now. And I go in to get my attack on him. Oh yeah. Here goes half of my HP in one shot. So, just be aware of that attack. See, I only got a couple little guys here now. And he drops in with some more. But otherwise, there'd be about 20 of those guys there when these new ones dropped in. So it's just sick, you know. It's about 4 minutes extra or something like that of taking on these little guys like this. But to me, it's worth it. It just makes the fight much more manageable, really. But I do. See, there's a certain distance you got to be away. It's definitely an area of attack there. But sooner or later, here we go. I finally remembered that I got a giant cannon on me. And maybe it would be time to use it. I also have some bone marrow ash, which if you haven't used it with your firearm, you're going to want to, because it does massive increase in damage. Man, this is a +6 cannon. So with the bone marrow ash, you'll see what kind of damage this does. Ooh. 1092. One shot. So, that's all she wrote. So obviously the fight probably would have gone a little bit further if I didn't have my cannon, my +6 cannon bone marrow ash, but there you go. That's what you're looking at for Rom the Vacuous Spider. And since this was like my 6th or who knows how many times, got to give it one of those.